Try to get the plants good side. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Ned over My Philippine Dreams, and this is a special video I'm going to be doing just for my Patreons. Thank you all to my Patreons for supporting me over these years. We're going to be talking about where the money is actually going for that in just a little bit. But first up, just some updates, some real quick updates, because I know you're busy and you have things to do, and I don't want to take up too much of your precious time. First up, the weather. This is my favorite time, hands down, to be in the Philippines. Right now is what they call amihan. There's amihan and then there's habagat. Amihan is the trade winds coming down from the northeast, which is basically hitting Dumaguete City head-on. The air is clear, it's drier, it's not as humid, it's cooler, it's about 81, 82 degrees every day. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now on the flip side, the problem is Habagat's going to start up around April or May, and that's when summer starts here. So the breeze, the offshore breeze dies. It starts to come from the northwest, and that's the monsoon. And it just gets pretty hot and pretty gross and pretty close and pretty just nasty. And that is my least favorite time to be in the Philippines. And since we're talking about that, I booked my flight back to the United States. I'll be heading back to the United States for about 28 days. And I actually booked on China Eastern Airlines is the first leg up to Shanghai. And then it's United to the United States, San Francisco. And the good thing about that is the Shanghai to San Francisco is only about 12 hours as opposed to the 14 or 15 hours, hi Angel, that you sometimes get when you're going from Korea to JFK or something like that. So that should be interesting. My first time on a Chinese airline. I like Chinese food. We'll see how it goes. And that's not a long leg. That's only like a 5 or 6 hour flight with China Eastern Airlines. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to seeing my friends. I'm looking forward to seeing my family. I'm looking forward to going shopping, to eating, to gaining 10 pounds. But most of all, it's just family that I'm really looking forward to seeing. I gotta tell you, you gotta throw rocks at her so she'll stop barking. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the best thing is I really lucked out. I use Skyscanner. I think that's a Google service. I'm not sure. Google seems to be taking over everything in this world nowadays. And they actually have a matrix, so you can plug in the dates you're interested in going, and they'll give you a matrix like plus and minus 5 days out either way. And they'll show you the total charges for the flights. And 99% of the flights were about $1,500 to $1,600 US, which is pretty pricey. That's with Korean Airlines and those guys. And I love Korean Airlines, but this year I'm not flying with them, obviously. But this time I was lucky enough, $880 popped up, and I clicked on that. I saw the layovers, they weren't too bad. I think it's 30 hours going to the United States and 32 hours coming back, which ain't too bad. So I was pretty happy about that. And again, that's China Eastern Airlines and United. And for my seats, I called United, and for some reason they automatically upgrade. Oh, because it was the Philippines call center, and I told them I was in the Philippines. We started talking in Bisaya because they're on Cebu. So they actually upgraded me to Economy Plus, which I think gives you 6 extra inches of leg room or something. I'm not sure. So that should be interesting. All right, now let's talk about this Patreon and where the money's going and Patreon donations. Right now I'm getting about $100 a month through my Patreon. I really don't advertise it that hard. A lot of other YouTubers and vloggers and stuff, they advertise their Patreon a lot. I don't do it too much. So I'm getting about $100 a month, and that money is much appreciated, and thank you very much. It's going towards all kinds of interesting things. But basically what it's going, once you start crunching the numbers and looking at it, it's basically going to the Spaghetti Fests. I do the Spaghetti Fests usually every other month. We're going to be doing one this month. It usually comes out to about $200 USD, and then I throw in $20 on my own because it's good to have skin in the game when you're doing stuff like that. So with $100 a month, every other month, basically all the Patreon money is going to Spaghetti Fest at this point. I don't know if maybe I'll scale back at some point, and maybe I'll get some more Patreons and actually be able to pocket some of that loot, but for the time being, that's basically where the money's going. And it's a good cause. I really enjoy doing the Spaghetti Fest. I enjoy seeing my old neighbors, Junjun, Nikki, Nano, and all of them. They participate. They actually do all the work for that. Because as a foreigner and a tourist visa, you can't work or show that you're working or volunteering or doing anything. You can't be collecting money for charities or anything like that. Because people on YouTube who are miserable shits will actually go out of their way to report you to the BI, to the BIR, to the Internal Revenue Service of the Philippines, just to jack you up. And you've seen some channels in the Philippines where that's actually happened. And actually they were getting like orders to cease and desist or deportation hearings or something. I don't know. I don't really follow the vlogger scene. I got enough going on in my life between work and play and all that stuff that I don't really follow that. Okay, so that's Patreon, and again, thank you for your continued support, guys. I really appreciate it. I don't say it enough. I know we tried to do Google Hangouts and stuff, and I couldn't figure out how to get the technology behind that working, but maybe we'll try that at some point again. Because again, by supporting the channel and my operations and the Spaghetti Fests, you guys deserve something back. All right, now let's get into relationships. I don't talk about my relationships on the channel that much, if at all, because I'm trying to protect the privacy of the people that I am seeing or going out with at the time. And somebody seems to be hammering in the background, but we're just going to keep going. All right, so girlfriend number one, I'm not going to say any names again, trying to protect their privacy. She was a very nice, very sweet, very wonderful person. I screwed that one up by breaking up with her for stupid reasons, and it's basically become one of the biggest regrets of my adult life. Now, the good news for her is apparently she has since got married and is now living in a first world country in some undisclosed location. So I always wish the best of her. I think about her just about every day. I got a lot of regrets about that. That was a really stupid move. Now, moving on to girlfriend number two, the 7-month relationship I had after girlfriend number one. That wasn't exactly, come to find out, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. We weren't on the same page, and there was some stuff going on. So that relationship, unfortunately, ended not too long ago. But again, she is, at heart, a very nice person. She's very spontaneous. She's very funny. And I see her still, here and there, out and about. And I always will wish her well. All right, now the latest thing. I actually met somebody through a friend. The circumstances, I'm not going to get into the circumstances because they're actually kind of tragic because somebody passed away. But I was introduced, I met her, and I gave her my number. We started messaging back and forth. We got each other's Facebook Messenger. We were messaging back quite a bit. It seemed we had quite a bit in common interests. She's a musician. She's an amazing singer. She's a guitarist. She can, belt out ballads and, sings like an angel. She's also smart. She speaks 7 languages. She worked customer support for Expedia.com for about a year and a half. And she's all about family, and she's also religious. She's very spiritual, and she is quite possibly the nicest, sweetest person I have ever met in my entire life, to the point where sometimes it's actually humbling. Now, with this situation, this relationship, it's old school. They're from Bacolod. The family's from Bacolod. They are rather conservative, and they're doing things the old way. So basically, when I express my interest in her, she says, you have to talk to my parents, and you have to talk to my brothers. She's got 3 older brothers, and she's got her mom and dad. So as we talked more and more, and I liked her more and more, I said, no problem, I'll do that. So last week, I actually met her parents, her mama and papa. They were very nice. They had some questions for me. They were concerned about my intentions and all that. Oh, and there was also, in the Philippines, this is the Philippines, there was also this extraneous chismis stuff coming in from some people that I know, that we both mutually know. And I had to deal with that. So, but basically at the end of that, they gave me permission to court their daughter. Now, courting is different here in the Philippines because basically at that point, they're not your girlfriend. You're just a suitor, and you're trying to woo them, and you're trying to make them your girlfriend. That's the ultimate objective. Actually, the ultimate objective is engagement and marriage, but we'll get to that at some point. So I talked to them. It was all good. And then a couple days ago, the brothers came down because they're actually moving locations, the woman that I'm seeing and her sister. So they helped them move, and I was able to meet them over the past couple days, and they're a rambunctious crew. And we went out for karaoke, and we hung out last night eating squid and shrimp and drinking some beers, doing some bonding. And they had a lot of questions for me. And they basically, because the woman that I'm seeing, she's the youngest daughter. She's the youngest sibling in the family. And there's a big age gap between them and the older brothers. So obviously they're very protective of her. And rightfully so. Because, some foreigners here, have a pretty bad reputation. You've got to be careful. What was nice too is the family, the mother, the father, and all the brothers. The family's all working, and they basically, and then I didn't bring this up myself. They brought it up. They said, we're not going to be asking you for money or getting allowances from you or anything like that, because everybody in the family is working and we can take care of ourselves. So I thought that was a nice touch. But by them saying that, and if some medical emergency comes up or something occurs, as a foreigner in relationship with a Filipina, you're having a relationship with the whole family, and sometimes if something really bad happens, you're still expected to step up and shoulder, as they say here, shoulder some of the fiscal responsibility. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I'm planning on doing the dozen roses, the Toblerone chocolates, maybe a teddy bear, going all out. Because again, I am pressing my suit. I am courting her, and actually tomorrow, I'm going to ask her if she'll be my uyab, if she'll be my girlfriend. So wish me luck on that. Because again, and I'm not putting her up on a pedestal, and I am a fairly good judge of character most of the time. She is a really nice, really sweet, really good person, and better than I actually deserve. And there's not a moment of the day that we're together that I don't think about that. Which builds upon my Irish Roman Catholic guilt thing that I got going on. But that's neither here nor there. Alright, so in a nutshell, this video's gone on way too long. I'll be posting this up on the Patreon. Thanks again for your continued support. I really appreciate it. And this is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams. Thanks to my Patreons. And I will see you next time.